Alright guys, TacticalRab again today. Hope you're all doing better and enjoying your day so far. And one of the big questions remaining going into the CDL 2023 is which streaming platform will Call of Duty Esports be broadcast on for the next several years? Will the YouTube deal get extended, or is a return to Twitch potentially on the card? ZooMaa has practically leaked that the Twitch deal may well be coming through. Very much intrigued your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you are new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Plenty to discuss today. Quick update here because we saw yesterday that Cloud9 released their Halo team. They've actually been picked up by Space Station Gaming, so didn't really want to say too much more on this, but kind of just a crazy turn of events. The Cloud9 is gone, we believe, for probably financial issues, to be honest, within their organisation. So not sure what this means for, Call of Duty and stuff like that, but definitely worth keeping an eye on. There's also this that came out from Ben Spoont, who's, basically the CEO of Misfits Gaming, who own the Florida Mutineers, or they're the parent company of the Florida Mutineers. And he's talking here about, largely about League of Legends, but really just franchise esports in general. Also going on to say that apparently Activision has been helping the Overwatch League teams with their franchise repayments. So as there's 25 million, I'm not exactly sure what the Overwatch payment was, but Activision are giving them back like 1 million per team for each of the 20 teams to help them, repay that debt really. So $25 million is the Call of Duty one. The teams probably had to pay like 5 mil up front or something, and since then they've had to pay more, but after the pandemic they didn't really want to, and Activision delayed it and all this, and maybe they're now helping them to pay it back because the teams don't really want to, and for understandable reasons with the state of the game and with the league as well. I'm not sure if this actually applies to cards, but Overwatch has also been a bit of a shambolic state as well, to be perfectly honest. And this is another statement which I thought was quite remarkable, really. Now, he's not specifically talking about Call of Duty here, but he's probably talking about Activision at least to a certain extent. They, the publishers, i.e. Activision, potentially Riot as well, certainly pitched us that the growth of these leagues would be meteoric, and we, the team owners, all drank the Kool-Aid, right? I mean, quite the indictment, quite the statement here from Ben Spoont, right? Basically saying that, these guys just completely fooled us, that these leagues would be out of control in 5 years and be making mega profits. Turned out not really the case at all, and, arguably regrets his decision as a result to get in. Wonder what this means, right? Just because they rumoured to have sold their majority ownership in their LEC slot just a couple of months ago, I think. So wonder if this implies that maybe Florida and Misfits are looking to divest their ownership, basically, of the Call of Duty team as well, right? Who knows? So, stay tuned for that one, but probably aligns with what a lot of the owners think right now, and why I'm sure they can't be happy with the way the game currently is, and will be asking questions about what that means for the future of their investment. This quickly on the Major 1 qualifiers, because this time there's only 4 teams that are, only 4 matches you play, basically, for the Major 1 qualifiers, whereas last season it was 5, just because they've got to cram this in over 2 weeks, because it's obviously kicking off in early December. So these are the teams that they play. Which team do you guys think has the hardest or the easiest run here? I would say that, I thought when I looked through this briefly that New York had a relatively easy run. They play Boston, London, LA Guerrillas, and Toronto. I think also LAG, it's not too bad. They play Boston, London, New York, and Seattle. Now, some teams have a harder time for sure. Like Vegas, for example, they play FaZe, Florida, Thieves, and Rokkr. That's a pretty hard run of 4 matches, to be honest. So, that's just one. The OpTic guys play Florida. Their first match is Florida, which is kind of interesting. Then London, Thieves, and Rokkr as well. So, these are all the matches. I don't know who's going to come out on top here. Thieves as well, just to look at them. FaZe, Vegas, OpTic, Mutineers. That's also not easy at all. The fact that it's, Thieves, FaZe is their first match they play is pretty spicy. I think on December the 5th maybe, or December the 4th. So, pretty spicy stuff. Excited to see how this translates into the qualifiers in a few days' time. Let's talk then about this whole Twitch and YouTube thing. Been a really big talking point the last couple of years, because, look, the YouTube streaming deal has been extensive and has been pretty massive, right? YouTube paid a lot of money for the rights to broadcast the Call of Duty League, and I don't think that YouTube will think that their investment has actually paid off, really, because it's not like the viewership has been crazy, right? And the same for Overwatch and the deals that they've done in the past as well. And there's no longer FaZe, formerly involved in Call of Duty Esports, working for YouTube Gaming. He's now doing this thing at Polygon, I think. So, it's not like he necessarily has the connections, or not like Call of Duty has the connections anymore with YouTube to get a mega deal done for broadcast rights. So then the attention turns to Twitch. Is it possible to have that happen at Twitch? But it's the same thing in the past. Twitch has done big deals to pay money for these esports and hasn't really reaped the returns. So I don't imagine if the Call of Duty League was to do any deal anywhere, they would get a particularly good deal to be exclusive. So then the question is, could we potentially go on both platforms, or is it going to be a Twitch exclusive deal? This clip from ZooMaa here, I'll have to kind of cut it down because there's music in the background and stuff, but he's talking about where it's going to be next season. He, of course, being on Twitch and wanting to do better watch parties and, you know, wanting the watch party possibility to open up for Call of Duty as it has done for other esports over the last couple of years, is pretty excited for it to be on Twitch. And he's very much implying that from the rumors he's heard, a Twitch return is on the cards.
CDL still not announced where they're streaming. No, they haven't, bro. They have not announced it yet. They have not announced it. I've heard some rumors, but I do not want to say anything. I heard some rumors, but I do not want to say anything. Wink, wink. Chat, I don't know what's going on. But ladies and gentlemen, it might be good news. It might be. It might be coming home, folks. It might be coming home.
So this move, of course, has some positives and negatives. The positive is Twitch is still, for now, probably the place to be for esports stuff in general. The Twitch chat is way more fun, I think, than the YouTube chat in general anyway. And yeah, I think like the potential viewership, the peak viewership for really big events on Twitch is going to be larger than on YouTube. YouTube is a bit of a nightmare to find the streams, the way they come up, and actually to like explore them and search them out isn't really going to happen all that often. Like even if you search Call of Duty League, sometimes it doesn't even still pop up. Won't always come up on your feed either. So it's a bit of a tricky one to get kind of the expansion over to YouTube. Now, I think the potential for YouTube streaming in the future is higher than Twitch, but maybe for now, Twitch is still just about the place to be. Now, I think for the quality of the stream, YouTube, like, to me, is far and away better. I would much prefer to watch Call of Duty on YouTube because it's so much easier to rewind. You miss something, you can fast forward. You know, Twitch, you have to be live. Yes, the clipping feature is better. That is one benefit. So yeah, obviously people have their opinion what's better, but I know that the last couple of years, many have said, you know what, a return to Twitch is probably the way that we can try and, you know, get more interest, get more viewership and stuff like this. To me, the ideal world is to do it on both. I don't know if Call of Duty can actually get a big contract from either YouTube or Twitch that will satisfy them. Maybe the better way to do it is to go on both. I think that's the optimal solution, which is basically what Halo has done. So we don't know, right? Like, I think it makes sense to stay on YouTube because there's so many good reasons why it should still be on YouTube. The fact that like all the broadcasts are still there on the YouTube channel, like you know, the fact that they can show to their sponsors that yeah, this stream got like 1 million views, which is true because 1 million people clicked on it, but a lot of the time that's the same people clicking because they click on for one match, click off, come back onto it a little bit later on. So you know, still that they can show sponsors that, and it makes sense that the broadcast can straight away be there yet again on YouTube. On Twitch, that's not really the case. Obviously, you can see viewership numbers, but you know, it's not quite the same on Twitch, right? And you can't watch after the fact on Twitch and then have to, you know, upload all the VODs to YouTube. And you know, whether Twitch would be happy with a deal like that anyway, that's a bit of a question mark in and of itself. So I would really like the world in which it's on both, right? But also this possibility of the watch parties and the co-streaming is quite exciting because it's happened on occasion. Like ZooMaa will do the watch party on Twitch, but like you know, you won't really be able to see what's going on. He covers most of the screen because the CDL obviously doesn't want him to just show the broadcast, which is understandable, especially because you know there's the YouTube deal, so they don't want the broadcast being held on Twitch at the same time. So ZooMaa has to do something a little bit differently there to make it pass the test effectively. But with any luck going forwards, the watch parties, the co-streaming gets a lot better, and maybe like an actual Twitch, like allowing them to stream on Twitch would make that a lot better because what I'm really hoping is that when Scump does retire at the end of the season, he can watch party the matches next year, and that's going to be big for Call of Duty, and we need that to be the case, 100% guaranteed. Hopefully this season can be a stepping stone for that. Definitely tweet your thoughts in the comment section below. Another spicy thing I wanted to mention for you guys here between Scrappy and Methodz, these guys are certainly ready to go at it for the upcoming season. Boston versus Toronto is going to be rather fun. Clip here of when during the Cold War season when Methodz was down there in challenges with Scrappy, like kind of fighting against each other, sometimes on different teams, who came out on top. Methodz reckons he was owning Scrappy week in, week out. Scrappy doesn't necessarily agree with that one.
Wait, Scrap, remember when I got benched on Ultra and I played challengers and I pissed all over you every time I played you?
Don't talk about that.
Do you remember when I just leak all over you and I'll get
not talk about that, and I will actually expose you.
Hey, don't
Wait,
talk about
what? What does that mean?
Bro, that contract you got because of me.
What?
Then I slammed you in challenge.
No, you did not. What? Wait. Remember when I 1v2'd the piss out of you with the pistol on checkmate? Remember that I flew off the wing and just leaked all over your forehead? Bro.
I literally woke up 30 minutes late to the match, showed up, and absolutely chokeslammed you guys.
Wait, when?
I don't know. I don't remember when it was.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you actually remembered, I believe you, but you don't.
Because I don't care.
Nope.
Hey, Scrappy.
Pissed on.
Oh,
I know what kind of
want,
contract.
bro.
I know what kind of contract.
I also know what kind of contract he's on. Tommy, I know. Yeah, I know his contract. Oh, wait, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
This, I believe, was the period they were talking about then during Challengers 2021 when Methodz got dropped from the Toronto starting team in favour of Insights, and then, well, he joined this team with, for example, Slacked, Fire and Parasite Gintroids. They had some good success, to be honest, some thirds, some fourths, you know, not great at all, but still, Challengers is pretty tough, to be honest, with many of the rosters that they had. These were Scrappy's results at the time, and it's kind of funny, because Scrappy wasn't really on the radar of many people at this time. They did win a cup in June here, alongside Mohawk, Cryptic and Gunsey, and you can see Scrappy was playing in 2021 with some notable players, but didn't really burst onto the scene until 2022. And I think you've got to give this one to Methodz, being that in the majority of cases, they were placing better Methodz team than Scrappy's team was back in 2021. But of course, last year, still, Scrappy was in Challengers, but he was dominating Challengers on the Ultra Academy NA week in, week out, as opposed to 1 year prior. So yeah, quite the rise that Scrappy has had over the last year or so. Quick note on this from Isaac wanted to talk about, because, I think people were calling him faded for this, and you can understand why, saying he likes random recoil more than constant recoil patterns. Now, one thing that I will say, so this is same gun, same attachment, same tuning, what the what this gun tends to do. Now, this is like a thing across the majority of esports. This is the case. Even in Counter-Strike, where yes, the recoil pattern is much more consistent than this, there is always still a little bit of variation. And we've seen this generally in CODs in the past, where, this isn't a new thing. The recoil pattern is, to some degree, randomized. Most games in Call of Duty past, even back to Black Ops 2 and the golden days, you could argue, their recoil will be consistent, as in it will do one thing generally, but it's still always, there's a certain degree of randomness, which I think is understandable, and is even a thing in Valorant and stuff. The spray control is pretty difficult to handle anyway. So yeah, just intrigued your thoughts on this. I think, okay, it'd be nice if the recoil patterns were the same all the time. In fairness, 1, 3, and 4 here are actually very similar in terms of what you would do for this situation, because it obviously has a trend, but it just doesn't always do it. So I know that people get annoyed about this, but I just wanted to say this has been a thing for Call of Duty 4 pretty much ever. I think maybe in World War II and a couple of games, they did make them slightly more consistent in terms of the recoil patterns, but mostly this has always been the case. It's not really a new thing. And just to close out with this from Crone, which retired pro is this? Talent, the 3 bars, recognition, you get half a bar. So, there's some great replies here. The ones that immediately came to mind for me were pretty much like some of the OGs that retired before the modern day, the likes of Miracles, and I think Proofy as well is really worth of note here. But, I think a lot of people were giving these answers. My answer that I came up with was some European players, because generally European players get underrated in these rankings anyway. This was the Millennium team from Black Ops 3, when, with Tommy, Mad Cat, who was a phenomenal player, Swanee as well was just such a, ridiculously good AR, and to me, Jerd might well be in conversation. In terms of raw talent and ability in COD history, Jerd might be top 10 all-time talented players. Long career as well, was like an absolutely dominant force even back in Black Ops 2, and was even a fantastic player up until even Black Ops 4, if you guys remember that Splice team that season. One of them entered Infinite Warfare, of course, on Splice back in the Stage 1 playoffs. So that was kind of, my list of players, just to give some credit to those that, people weren't really considering. But there's some other great replies here. Even John is an interesting character, because maybe he doesn't get the respect he deserves after the recent couple of years. aBeZy as well, people were noting. aBeZy got quite a lot of love in this one. Proofy, of course, even Enable, I think it is probably worthy of mention. But there's a lot of names coming out here, and not everyone can be underrated or lack recognition, you know what I mean? So there's always got to be, it can't be like a massive list, to be honest. TP, I think, is a good one. And even Rambo says every top tier pro that retired before Advanced Warfare is probably including himself in that bracket, which maybe you can understand as well. I think even Nadeshot deserves some credit, but yeah, another Jerd enjoyer here in Will, so good stuff. And yeah, these are just some other examples here. But yeah, definitely intrigued to your thoughts on that in the comment section below. I think it was a cool question from Crone, and there are plenty of viable answers for sure. But very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are new, take care, and I'll see you next time.